I'm alive! I guess. So I've been sick for the past week. I had a stomach bug. I don't think it was norovirus, but it could have been. Anyway, I decided to go through some stuff, and I found my Compaq Presario, which I do the Sound Blaster 16 MIDI tracks on, that I record and posted on YouTube a little while back. I think it was about a year ago or so. Actually, I think it was about a year ago at the end of this month. So, about 11 months and some change days, give or take. It's been in storage for a while. So I decided to take it out and dust it off and give it a proper cleaning again. And I kinda said to myself, you know what? I should do a video on this. Because I haven't gotten to do a video on this yet. And if it's just going to sit and do nothing for the next forever and a half, who knows, months, I may as well do a video about it now. Now, since I don't have speakers for this, because I am going to do a sound demonstration, I do have my laptop, one of my laptops. This is my Gateway ML3706. I've had this for since September 2012, about the same time as my Gateway E265M. I've mentioned it, I think, a couple times. I know I mentioned it in the E265M video that I did back in September, October, 2012. That was really shitty. Anyway, so this is, or was, running a Pentium T2060 at 1.6 gigahertz, and now it's not. I upgraded it to a Core 2 Duo T7200, which this laptop is not supposed to support at all. It has a Radeon Express 200 chipset behind it, and that chipset does not say anywhere in any of its specifications that it will take a Core 2 Duo. But the T7200 and the T2060 do share in common the same amount of wattage needed to run, and they do share the same maximum TDP, which is about 42 watts or so. I said, you know what, screw it, let's see if this works, and lo and behold, it worked. It's running at 38 degrees Celsius with the fan running, and it's a pretty crappy fan. 2 gigs of... No, wait a minute. No, this has 4 gigs of DDR2 667, running at 667 megahertz, or 333, whatever you want to do, 333 and a half, whatever. And it only sees 3 of that because of either a chipset or a BIOS limitation. I'm still trying to find someone to modify the BIOS for this. I put up a post on Notebook Review and also on... I think I also did it on the BIOS Mods forum, but I have not received a reply. So I'm hoping that someone will see this video and do that. It's got an 80 gig hard drive, which originally was 4200 RPM, now it's 5400 RPM. I pulled the MHV 2088H Fujitsu out of my C840, and I fully retired that last month, and I put it in here. So I have a 9-year-old Fujitsu 80 gig drive running on this just fine. Good smart, all that stuff. And it's running 7 like a champ. I have IRC going, and I don't know if you can make it out, but I've got the Geek Group IRC scrolling past there. In about half an hour, they're going to be doing an AMA for their newest member, who has come to join them as staff. Not a new member, but newest staff member on site, which is editor. And he is down in the electronics lab, and he's a really awesome guy, and you should totally go in IRC and talk to him and all of the other weirdos here in the IRC channel, such as myself. So, I am piping the Sound Blaster 16 sound output into the microphone jack, and I currently have that on listen, and I brought it down enough that I think it's not going to clip, but we'll see. Here is the Compaq Presario in question. It is a Presario 433. Originally came with I think it came with a DX266 originally. I could be wrong. It could have come with a 33 megahertz SX for all I know and remember at this point. I've had this in my possession since about 2010. And it's been upstairs, downstairs, outside in the truck, and I mean the Bronco 2 truck that you can see more of out there. What are you doing? Get down. That's Nico. Nico, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So, yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm making a video. What are you doing? Go, 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 go. So, it has now a 486DX4100 pulled out of an old IBM PS1 system that was a piece of garbage, honestly. I don't even think it was a... No, it was not a PS1. It was a... Oh, man. It's the one before the Aptiva, but after the PS1. And they were, like, really crappy IBMs. And they're just horrible, horrible, horrible boards. And the bus speed is just so low with, like, Windows 95 and all that stuff. So I had problems. So I just swapped the drive, and I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm removing the entire install, and I did. And I did a complete installation of Windows 95 on this particular machine. I'll go into that a little later, but it is running Windows 95B, which is 4.00.950B, and that is the one that has USB support, but I will never have a USB card in this machine because it only has ISA slots. There are ISA USB cards that run at USB 1.1 spec, but they're pretty horrible. Now, the other thing with the hard drive that I decided to replace it was this had a 500 meg hard drive that was on its way out. The head was starting to stick a little bit. I took off the what I could off of the hard drive, but honestly I wasn't able to get everything. It had a couple of bad sectors, this and that. Nothing I wanted to play with. So it's now been about 8 or so minutes now, 8 minutes, and I'm going to start up the computer. Now this is all in one unit. It's got a 14-inch 800 by 600, which means SVGA for those of you playing at home monitor. However, when this originally came packed with Windows 3.1, it only ran at 640 by 480. It does 800 by 600 beautifully, and I recommend anybody that has this particular model or any of its other models that it is a family of to definitely try 800 by 600 because it is amazing on this. Amazing. It does have a floppy drive, 1.44 meg. It is replaced. The other one died. I'm actually amazed that I was able to find in my collection a actual genuine Compaq front floppy drive that works. So let's go ahead and start it up. Now I'm using a Gunji HP keyboard and really Gunji Compaq mouse that I did clean the gunk out of, and the gunk was so thick that it came off in sheets. We are counting up the memory. This has a whopping 20 megabytes of memory, which is the absolute maximum since there is a total of 4 megabytes on board. It would have otherwise beeped, but I disconnected the speaker inside, because I am not making use of the onboard sound, which it does have. I am so sorry for the flicker. So sorry. Oh, that chatter. It's going to ask me for a password and stuff. I'm just going to leave that right there. And I'm going to do this. Ooh, got BNC that popped up. I don't care. Don't care. I know I don't have a password set on it because I haven't touched it in it forever. It used to have a password. So now we are at the desktop. Hooray! So, go in. Did originally have a 5x86 when I did this, 13380Z, but it ran really like crap. Now it has a regular 486. I don't know how to show that it's running at 100 megahertz, but trust me, it is. And I do have Internet Explorer 5.5 installed. At one point I had this on the intranet. It was connected via a wired network, and it was connected to the main router, so it was getting the full blast of 10 megabits that it's able to get through. I think this is an Intel Pro 10 Plus that I've gotten here. I can check that and just, actually, what am I going through here? You just go into here, Device Manager. I have, yep, Ether Express Pro 10 PNP. Ugh, PNP. What we got here? Yeah, Windows Sound System compatible, I have that. Didn't even bother with that because the Sound Blaster 16 is using the address space for that. So, why bother? Yeah, 20 megs of RAM. None of that crap installed. Okay. Now, the other thing you gotta look at. 256 colors, 800 by 600. If I want to go up any higher, I can't. 256 is the max. Advanced properties. Cirrus Logic something or other. I don't know. Oh, shit, I shouldn't be in there. No, no. Okay, so, it is now sound testing time. Now, let's show you. Let's do the one that has the more, I think this has the most views, but I'm pretty sure that the other one has more. This is the Huey Lewis Hip to Be Square MIDI, playing out of my Sound Blaster 16 CT1740 in real time. If Windows Media Player ever decides to open. Very good. Other ones that I have on here is It's a Sin. I'm not sure who the hell did this one. Oh, that's clipping a little bit. Okay, so we've got that, and then we've got some other ones like Monkey Island. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to try holding my camera by the battery door now because my hand's getting a little tired. And last but not least, this is a track from Touhou 8, which is Imperishable Night. And this is track 9. I'm not exactly sure which track this is, because I'm personally not really too up to speed with the names of tracks from all the different Touhou games. There were like 13 or 14 of them or some weird shit. So, don't flame me for it. I don't know. So, here we go. This one is pretty good for showing the abilities of Sound Blaster, but come on, start. Piece of shit. It is. Here we go. Just a little bit. Turn volume down. I should totally do that now. And it ends. That was 2 minutes 41 seconds long. I accidentally cleared the backlog for the channel through saying stuff by accident. I accidentally pressed a button I shouldn't have. So I was just going back to see if I could just bring it back up. But I guess not. Oh well. Yep. Hey, we're jury-rigging now. Yeah! So I also went in and I noticed that I don't have Audacity installed on this particular computer. The last recordings that I did were through a Echo Indigo IO that is now down in the basement someplace, hanging and chilling. And this particular computer does not have a PC card slot. Instead, it has an Express Card 54 slot. So I either have to spend $200 on an Echo Indigo IOX, or I can use the onboard HD audio, which is more than perfectly fine on this particular laptop. It doesn't really hiss at all. So I'm going to install Audacity and do some recordings so that I can put those down in the comments, not in the comments, what the hell am I saying? In the description below, and that will be there. Just hit 21 minutes, 2101. In AD 2101, war was beginning. So, that is the little sound-producing Compaq Presario 433, which I have in my care. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to go about with this. I could shut this down and open it up and show you the board. I'm pretty sure there's going to be quite a few people that want to see that, so you know what? That's what I'm going to do right now. I've got 20 minutes left on the battery, which is less than that, but I can manage. So let's shut it down. Oh, yeah. Oh. When was the last time you saw that? I never get bored of seeing that, because this one actually you have to press the power button to shut it off. Alright, I'm going to try to show you all that I can in the limited amount of time that my battery now says I have. This is a third-party battery, Sony G type for this particular H70. So, first off, let's start with the hard drive. Hard drive is a Western Digital Caviar 2850, WDAC 2850-23F. The I guess that's the certified date, or the manufacturer date right there, CCC, is C2 8 May of 96. So this particular hard drive is almost 18 years old. Almost 18 years old. Next month, on the 8th of May. That's pretty scary, that an 18-year-old drive is still running nice and strong. But these Western Digital Caviars are pretty strong for what they are. I've been thinking about switching it out with a higher up drive. I know this particular board to be able to support an EIDE drive, but I have not decided to go any higher than the 853 megs that I currently have available to me, because honestly I don't think I need that much space. Underneath this drive is a whole lot of nothing. You've got your PS2 keyboard and mouse ports. The keyboard port does not work with AT keyboards with the AT adapter. I tried using my very popular Dell AT101 and it does not work. So you got your serial, you got parallel, you got joystick port, which goes to the onboard, which I do not have set up, and you've got your modem, which is on the actual board itself and I can't get rid of. This is good because that means that I've got a built-in modem that I can use, albeit I think this is a Win modem. Great. Ether Express 10 and my Sound Blaster 16 CT1740 with the optional slot for the extra chip, and I believe this is an IDE port. I don't think it's Panasonic or Mitsumi because it does not say anything. It's just labeled 1 to 39 and pins 40, so I guess that's all it is. There's the wonderful stuff for that. Here's all sorts of information for you Compaq diehards. There is the little Compaq system board logo down there. There is no other board art on this, to my knowledge, in the silkscreen. This board makes contact with the rest of the machine through a edge connector there, which fits onto the front, and you have to get it in all the way or it does not work. I'm not particularly sure anymore what these jumpers were for, but I think it's for setting the bus speed and which CPU you have installed. I have a 60mm fan. I think, yeah, it's a Cooler Master 60mm fan right on top of the 486 because it does get a little hot. I have this screw that's positioned right in there really nice and snug and tight to just keep the fan from moving all over the place. And the Sound Blaster comes in handy here for a little bit, and the rest of it, what have you. It does get a little on the warm side. I have it spliced in someplace, but I'm not exactly sure where I have it spliced in. I'm not sure. This isn't the splice for that. This is the splice for the PC speaker, which is up here. Oh, now I know. The the fan is spliced up in here into the floppy connector for the onboard floppy, which is here. But this is a Mitsubishi Electric Corporation floppy drive with an actual Compaq serial number on it, and an actual replaced with Compaq spare barcode and everything there, part number, all that stuff, down to 8 minutes. And this actually says on it 486-100 underneath, but you can't see it because I'm a dweeb until something 002, but it is a 486 nonetheless. It is not a 486 overdrive. I am very saddened by this. I want a 486 overdrive because I want the Pentium instructions so that I can run, like, I want to see what Windows XP does with 20 megs of RAM. These are both not 20 megabyte. These are not actual 20 megabyte or 8 megabyte sticks. These are like 16 megabyte sticks, 1632, and the reason for that is because I do not have the actual right amount of memory to put in this. I think actually they might be 8 meg sticks, but they do have a parity chip, which I don't think this makes use of because the onboard RAM, which is right there stacked behind the actual RAM itself, does not contain parity. So without disrupting that, I'm not going to get into that. A couple of onboard components there. There's what looks to be a Rockwell chip of some kind. I'm pretty sure that's part of the modem, maybe. There's another Rockwell chip in there too. Maybe those are actually part of the chipset. There's a couple of chips underneath the floppy drive I can't get to right now without shutting the camera off and taking this more apart. But that is the gist of it. One more shot of my glorious, glorious Sound Blaster 16 with all of its little nice chips and stuff. This particular Sound Blaster does not have the whatchamacallit, the stuck note bug, and it is non-PNP. So I actually had to tell Windows 95, hey, this is in the ISA bus. This is the address it's at. Please make use of it. And it did. There is the information that you need to know there. There is the YMF262-M chip. I'm not sure if that means anything, but I do know that this does have the appropriate onboard code to not have that stuck note bug, which they all have. Piece of crud there on the card. Look at it, look at it. There we go, it's gone. The hell were you? Breadcrumb or something of some sort. And there is a crystal. More stuff, more stuff, more stuff. A couple Philips branded chips. Okay, so that is a look inside. I'm thinking about taking and replacing these surface mount, yes, surface mounted tantrum caps, yes, tantrum capacitors, and I call them that for good reason, because when they don't like to play nice, they let you know. They go out with a bang, and that's the end of it. They just bang, and that's why they're called tantrum capacitors. There's a whole bunch of them here on this particular board here. There's some electrolytics on this motherboard down here that I'm thinking of replacing later. And I know for a fact I want to see if I can find replacement filter caps for my Sound Blaster. And a whole bunch of these other caps can wait later on. But the most important ones I want to get rid of and replace are this capacitor right here, which I think is the main power filter cap, and the two output filter. I think these are both the output filter caps. I could be wrong. I don't know my way around this thing at all. I just took this out for the first time in a year, and this is what the deal is here. So that said, that is my Compaq Presario 433's board. I'm going to lift this up so you can just take a look and peek in there and see the Ether Express Pro 10. And that's how that gets on the internet. A whole bunch of cache chips and stuff down there really make a whole bunch of difference. Ooh, copyright Compaq 93. There is the BIOS chip. For any of you Compaq diehards playing at home, there you go. And that is it. I'm going to put this back in. We are going to have a nice, cool running 486 and all of the nice little fittings. By the way, it does play games very well. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get this running, was games. Here is the front of the machine without the board installed. And you can see sort of all the way to the back if you look very closely. So, that aside, as UXW Bill says, please leave a comment if you have one. And as I say, see you next time, or not.